Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to the grand final of the Korean StarCraft League number 8 here. So in the bottom right we have Byun spawning as our blue Terran, and you already see it on screen. In the top left as our red Terran we have On Sides Gaming Maru, as they've been chatting away for the past 5 hours. Feels like just constant chatter. Of course, both of them very good friends in real life. Oh, look at that. One of the observers joining in on the chat as well. Love to see it. Love to get some beautiful translations here, but this is going way too fast for me personally. As these guys have played each other a fair amount as of late. They played in the GSL, and I feel like they played a couple of days before the GSL as well. In the GSL, Byun managed to take one map, but ended up losing the series. We saw some interesting build orders, though, coming out of Byun in that particular series. Actually, on AGRESSIVE we saw a build that I personally hadn't seen before. Some 5 Reaper, 2 Hellion shenanigans into a 2-1-1 type of setup. Very interesting. And that's not going to be the case this time around, as we actually do have a more standard game here. Both players going for a double gas opener into a CC. And that's it so far. So we're going to see what tech they'll be playing for. Maru actually opening up a little bit safer. We saw Byun open up with a reactor first into double Reaper, while Maru went for double Reaper into reactor. That means that Maru is a lot safer against things like early proxy 2-racks, but he will have less Reapers later on, and that's when Byun probably wants to hit. So a Reaper takes, what is it, 36 seconds, 32 seconds. A reactor takes 36 seconds. So during the time where your opponent is building Reapers one at a time, you build your reactor, then you just build 2 at once, and you have basically the same amount as Reapers as your opponent, but you already have the reactor done. So here we see that advantage for Byun, who's coming out with 4 Reapers, 2 cars. His opponent right now is trying to pop out a tank, but that tank isn't quite going to be done yet. That means that this low ground position could be compromised here. This is not holdable. Maru needs to respond very rapidly here. First Hellion shot does go down. Maru thinks he can hold this with the 2 extra Marines, but damage output wise, it should be impossible. Look at this control on the cars here out of Byun, keeping them alive with very low HP, allowing a couple of extra shots. However, resources lost. No, actually that's fairly far in favor here of Byun, about 50 resources. We've seen 3 SCVs go down as well, which is actually a massive deal because that cuts into the eco of the opponent quite a bit. Now we do have more Reapers here moving in forward. That's 6 Reapers, a single car here. As the hell, oh my god, the tank gets picked up. What an unfortunate timing there for Maru, who's still going to be somewhat okay. It feels like Byun actually getting the worst end of that trade. Can only imagine how bad it would have been had that tank been sieged up or been in position there. So now we see Maru starting to hunt for some of these Reapers. These 4 Reapers will make their way towards the bottom side of the map. Oh, Maru just barely not catching them, but will send out some safety Cyclones and Reapers towards the left side to get this around over here. Reaper will fall on the side of Maru, but 2 Reapers go down on the side of Byun. As Maru starts laughing. The keke. Well, we see the sad eyes coming out of Byun. Oi, 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 oi. Not going to be happy with that start, Byun is. First Raven out for Byun, makes his way across the map as well. Will be going for a bit of a counterattack. CC gets built in position. Liberator as a follow-up. Maru planning on putting on some serious pressure right now. There's no tank out yet. Will pop in a couple of seconds. Byun needs to win time. Is forced to win time. But Maru scan sees the lack of a tank and says, hey, I can move forward and siege up here. Now the tank comes out. SCV pool coming in. Simultaneously, we have a Raven harassing in the main base with that auto turret. This is a very action-packed game over here. And I'm not entirely sure who's in charge at the moment. I am not entirely sure who's in charge. Resources lost, extremely close. We can take a look at the units that are lost. So we see that Byun has lost a lot of early game units in Reapers, Hellions, that type of stuff. While on the other hand, Maru actually lost a tank, lost a Liberator as well. And especially the Liberator is bad because that delayed a decent timing on his first own Raven. So right now Byun is on 2 Ravens already, while Maru doesn't even have a single one. And Raven energy and Ravens in general in the TVT early game and in the early stages of the mid game and also in the later stages of the mid game are absolutely key Honestly, also in the late game. Ravens in general are just key. If you have Ravens, you're usually in a pretty okay spot. Now, tanks will be sieging up defensively here in the main base as Maru tries to deal some damage. He's going to lose a bunch of Marines, though. Doesn't really kill a whole lot with this drop. As I said, they just continue chatting the entire way through. Holy crap. Classic 350 average APM and also typing 100 words a minute. Actually, that's not that fast, is it? 100. 100 words is okay, I guess. It's a decent speed. Just keep going while continuously harassing. Raven's actually having a good old blast over here. Now, taking out 2, 3, 4 workers is nice, but also forcing these SCVs off the line for a little bit is brilliant as well. This Raven is about to come back into the main base as well over here. There's no tank here. Gas needs to be pulled off. And once again, a couple of kills will be had here for the Ravens. Byun actually pulling ahead in this first game. And I think in their history, it is very kind of unique if Byun were to win. So seeing him pull ahead here, I guess is not the weirdest thing. I've seen that before in the past, and in games sometimes Maru comes back, sometimes he loses. But in entire series, yeah, Byun is fairly far behind Maru, if I'm not mistaken. Majority of the time Maru does end up winning. Literally, it's like best friends, just having their private conversations out in the open in the KSL Grand Final. You love to see it. 1-1 is a little bit quicker here as well for Byun. Byun just actually in a lead at this point, like very significant lead. Stim done, combat shield starting, so he's going to have a combat shield timing, he's going to have a 1-1 timing. Maybe he can even have a timing, I think he will, in which he'll have 1-1 and combat shield while his opponent is on 0-0 and no combat shield. And in that case, Byun's Marines are going to be going completely ham, while Maru's Marines, well, they'll be a fair amount weaker. We have double turrets already in the main base here for Byun. Well, we don't have anything in the main base of Maru, and it is Maru who should be the defensive one at the moment, as these Marines will drop in. Don't forget, they do have the 1-1 upgrades. That means they're going to be so darn effective against these Marines out of Maru. Look at them go, look at them go. Will be forced to pick up now, as there's just a little too many Marines and the triple medevacs as well. Sensor tower is done here. Has there been an armory? Yep, armory has finished, and 2-2 can start practically immediately if Byun would want to. These medevacs will get spotted, as both players opting to go for medevacs rather than Vikings. I keep getting distracted by the chat. Hey, these guys just don't give a crap. Just keep talking the entire way through. Really wonder kind of the gist of what they're saying. Are they flaming each other the entire time, or no one knows except for them and the people that speak Korean. 7 tanks here are out on the side of Maru. 5 tanks on the side of Byun, and that's the one advantage I guess that Maru has. And Maru actually is going to be trying to hit a timing here with superior tank count. Right now, both have combat shield, both have 1-1. Here comes anti-armor missile. Oh no, Byun has been ahead this entire game, but now his 4th base might be in some trouble as these tanks move forward. The Raven count is of course superior for Byun, and that is nice, but will be forced to cancel that CC right now. Wants to attack into this position and might be capable of actually sniping 1 or 2 of them tanks. Gets a good spot, but needs to be careful to not lose too many Marines. Definitely lowered his opponent's tank count here though. And of course, don't forget, he does have the 2-2 upgrade on the way. And once 2-2 finishes, Maru might be the one that is in trouble, as Maru hasn't even started 2-2 yet. Here comes Byun moving forward right now, once again sniping off 1 or 2 tanks, and moves back with those Marines and those medevacs back into his own defensive tank line. Scans going back and forth here. So 4 CC has been built in the main base, and we see 3 extra barracks being added in. Look at this. This is... Wait, is that just... Did Maru build all of those Marines on 2 barracks? Or just on barracks without reactors? That is kind of crazy, isn't it? On such a low amount of barracks. Meanwhile, Byun already was on 5 for a long time. Now is going up to 8. 16 Marines pumping at a time, the way that he likes it. 2-2 is about to finish up, though, for the Rebellion... the Shopify Rebellion Terran player. And that means he should be capable of grabbing some map control here. Does not have any Ravens remaining. Well, we do see a Raven on the side of Maru still. Stim in. Don't think he can go there. No way. Turrets in the main base as well, of course. Should definitely be capable of defending that, as the first Viking is now on the way. Are there any upgrades yet? Yeah. +1 vehicle has finished up for Byun, who has started his 3-3 practically immediately. He still has a massive timing window with 2-2 against 1-1. I'm wondering if he's going to try and use it here. Definitely will try to use it. Superior marine count, superior upgrades as well. Maru desperately trying to stim back, but in the corner some of these marines are being shot at. One medevac will get taken out as well. Big stim forward, and well, there's enough here defensively right now for Maru, with the tank especially, but chasing is most likely not going to be an option. Big move out coming out of Byun with the 10 tanks against the 6. Bunch of tanks have gone down on the side of Maru, while literally 0 tanks have gone down for Byun yet. Resources lost is still fairly close, as we can see. Is this position well defended enough? Byun is just stimming forward, says 4 tanks. Meh, doesn't look so scary. I can attack into that. Snipes 2. Loses a bunch of marines though and does not have the air lead. That means that this push cannot and will not continue, I think. But maybe, no, Byun says, I think I can. Gets 2 more Vikings in here as well. Right now the count is 6 for Byun against 5 of the opponents. Sadly, not all of Byun's Vikings are here quite yet. 1 tank's going to get shot at by this Liberator. Vehicle weapon production is continuing here for Byun. 3-3 also still happening. So for a little bit... Oh my god, you can't be serious. Oh, he's gonna make a rotation here towards this top side. He's gonna try to drop in the third, I think. Rather, or maybe in the main. He can go for the main. He's gonna go for the main. This is a massive drop into the main base. There's a crap ton of tanks here. There's no way to break this. I don't think so. Still, well, actually not superior upgrades anymore right now. It is 2-2 against 2-2. Byun has broken this position. There's only 2 tanks down here. Perhaps something that Byun wants to work with. No, it's gonna make another rotation here at the same time. So lots of rotations going on simultaneously. The Liberator does get sniped in the main. These tanks will get taken out eventually, but Byun gets a fantastic trade here, pulling way ahead in supply. And now this is going to most likely be the killing blow here. It's the 5th base or the 6th base or the 7th base, however many bases Maru has. That base gets taken out. And now once again Byun takes a solid position here at the fort, where there's also a 5th or a 6th or yeah, whatever you want to call it. Needs to lift. 3-3 now finishes up as well on the side of Byun. As well as +2 vehicle weapons. So vehicle weapon advantage. Marine upgrade advantage. Medevac count disadvantage. This marine army is fairly bruised, and Byun's actually starting to lose this position. Has killed 18 workers though, and still is pumping high amounts of marines at a time. If he wants to, of course. Right now he doesn't seem to be willing to build any. It's gonna get pushed back a little bit. 7 tanks against 9. Here comes the stim marine army moving forward. Byun does not have vision. Now he scans. Does he think he can attack into this? I think it's very close. Liberators pushing forward. As the 5th base gets taken here for Maru, double drop will take out this 12 o'clock base. And perhaps continue on into the main base. Or towards the 3rd. Or both. No, most likely he's going to die against these marines. Oh, interesting little fight at the same time though. Massive fight over here. I think I missed that. Kind of want to see what happened there. I was distracted and so was Maru. Look at this. First person for Maru here for a sec. Sends units towards that top side. And then boom, all of a sudden, stims in. No, he wasn't distracted. He was looking at it. He thought he could do it. But then he couldn't. And then he died. GG. Byun wins game number 1 here in this best of 5. Fantastic game number 1. So we've entered Babylon here. Both players opening up a little bit more safe. Last game, of course, Byun with that reactor first. This time just with the double Reaper start. Neither player SCV scouting though. Maru has SCV scouted in the past. But Byun has never been one to SCV scout very much. Preferring the extra minerals. The extra gas that it delivers him. Talking about gas, let's see where it's going to get spent here. So I'm actually fairly curious. Starport here. Relatively quickly. On the other hand, we see Byun. Slightly later starport. Has a lot of gas in the bank though. Not so sure what he wants to do with that. He's adding in a 3rd Reaper as well as a mine. So he's playing some of the most standard, safe Terran versus Terran that you can play. Of course, the mine can burrow on top of your ramp and pretty much be safe against any type of early game aggression out of your opponent that involves Reapers and Hellions. Maru, however, once again seems to be very willing to go into what seems to me like it's going to be a tank drop. Yeah, so double Reaper, single Hellion, and then a couple of tanks. I believe the plan here is to put 4 Marines in a medevac together with a tank and then walk across the map with the double Reaper and the Hellion as well. So yeah, I'm kind of curious to see how this is going to end up working out here. Because Byun is going to have very little units. The latest reactor for a long time has a mine which will help against Reapers and Hellions, but it's not great against tanks. Cyclone and Raven as a follow-up. A lot of this is going to be about unit positioning here. Maru starts moving out. Quick boost across the map. We have that third refinery already down. And Cyclone as a follow-up, as well as the tech lab here on the starboard for a couple of Ravens. Here we go. Maru moves in, will tank the mine shot. Tried to go for a lift on the units, but didn't quite work out. Here comes the siege up. There's no defensive tank in position here. That means that this has some real value. Oh my god, nice quick pickup there after the Cyclone lock-on. Of course, the medevac here to heal as well. Interesting pickups here out of Maru. Just very active with this medevac. Scooting in and scooting out. Here we go once again. This time the lock-on is on the medevac. Cyclone gets taken out. Byun in a world of trouble as this CC might just end up falling. Cyclone shows up as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. No. SCVs are going to help out. Tank sieging on the ramp will also provide some safety here. But this is an absolutely atrocious start right now for Byun. Struggling to stay in this game. Here comes an interference matrix on the tank, but the tank manages to unsiege barely in time. That means it gets to survive. We get an auto turret as well being thrown down here, and the tank can now re-siege. Byun has not moved his own tank 1 inch, and he is in a world of trouble. He's just in a world of trouble. Losing a crap ton of workers, losing a lot of mining time, spending cash on repairing. We have barracks 2 and 3 already on the way here for Maru. Here comes Byun, trying to siege up forward. Will finally clean up this position, but boy, did it take a darn long time. How far behind is he really? Well, he doesn't have a third CC. He doesn't have the extra barracks yet. He has no fort gas either. He's down 8 workers, and he's about to lose this reactor. Can't really do all that much about it. I don't think so, at least. There goes 1 tank. There go a couple of these Marines. And for now, the reactor is still under heavy and very serious fire. Don't forget, there's an extra Raven in this position as well for an interference matrix, potentially. Yep, both players going to be using their interference matrices here, I can only imagine. Maybe not? No. Maru says, I can lose that tank. I'm okay with it. Want to use my interference matrix for something way more cool. And that's sieging up into this position. And here we go. That's going to be 1. That's 1 Raven actually gets taken out. Oh my god, this tank survives with 3 HP. You can't be serious. It's going to get the final shot of it. I think this game is over. Like, absolutely over right now. Resources lost. 2600 on the side of Byun against the 1150 on the side of Maru. And in my mind, that means that Maru is in an unlosable position at this point. Tank on the high ground is going to help out. We'll secure this reactor for a bit longer as Vikings being rallied across the map. This tank with 3 HP wants to move back. And will get to move back as this Cyclone will cover its bum. Third base has landed already with an orbital command. Stim is over halfway done. E-base have started their upgrades. Meanwhile, Byun is barely starting his own barracks number 2 and 3. He's a solid minute and a half behind his opponent when it comes to infrastructure, it feels like. And I think the moment Stim finishes up, the moment these barracks with reactors start pumping out some Marines, I believe that Maru is just going to walk across the map and win the game. Byun isn't going to let it come to that. Taps out of this game as Maru ties up the series. Some huge domination coming off Maru there in game number 2. Great tank positioning. Great overall control with that medevac as well. It often feels like it's such a hit or miss build when you see them play the tank drop. It either really hits or really misses. I get a definition of a hit or miss. And I think the problem there for Byun is that he played very safe in the early stages of the game in case of any type of real Reaper Hellion harassment, right? Like he's super safe with that mine. He's gonna be in a good spot. But against a tank, you need something else. Like ideally, you have a Cyclone in position, ready to lock on to the medevac maybe, or lock on to the tank as it tries to siege up. Maybe you want to have a Raven out. Maybe you want to have, you know, something of your own, a tank of your own. But none of these things were there, and definitely bit him in the bum a little bit. So he didn't have a very large count of Reapers and Hellions. Just had enough to defend against anything, and was pretty late with all of his add-ons. This time around, though, a different type of game. A completely different type of game, as we have a 1 barracks expand coming out of Maru. With an SCV scout, this is an extremely risky build order. Extremely risky build order. Now with the SCV scout, it's a little bit safer, but it's still, it can have some problems. What are we seeing here? We're seeing single marine. No, never mind. Second marine is being built. The less marines you build before reactor, the more unsafe it is initially. So seeing that second marine does make me happy. That increases the safety of this build just by a tiny tad. It feels like Byun is setting up for perhaps a Hellion Reaper attack here. And that could be painful. Yes, there is a bunker. Yes, there will be marines out. But the problem here is going to be that you can just walk by the bunker and kill a bunch of these SCVs. There's no full wall on top of this ramp, which could make matters even worse. We have a Hellion on the way. There's a starport behind this. I think it's going to be single Hellion into Tech Lab here. And Maru can make 2 decisions from this point after this Tech Lab. He can swap the starport onto the factory to get a quick Raven out. Or he can try and start a Cyclone or a tank. I don't think that decision will matter very much, as we already have the double Hellion Reapers now moving in. Byun is going to scout this. Should run by, but is not. Sees the bunker and that's it. Now tries to go for the high ground here. Will be capable of perhaps killing a marine. Quick response out of Maru. 1 marine will go down. Reaper stays alive for now. 1 grenade hits and everything pops out of here. It is going to be an absolute Raven rush here. This is risky. This is risky, but the risk paid off in my mind. He's going to have a quicker Raven than his opponent. An extremely fast 3rd CC as well. I don't want to call this a greedy opener, but you know, he has a lot of stuff. He's going to have a lot of money. He's up 3 workers. He's going to have quicker Ravens. And now gets the scout with the Reaper himself as well. So Maru definitely being victorious here in the early game. And what does Byun have? Well, he has this 3rd CC up in position, which is nice. Don't get me wrong. It is a very pleasant thing to build your CC in the correct spot. It means it doesn't have to fly anymore. CCs fly extremely slow. Every 12 seconds a CC flies means you'll have 1 less SCV. Of course. Second Raven here on the way. And now we'll see. I think it's going to be a medevac build order here. Yep, here we go. Look at this switch. This is classic Maru. He's been playing this particular style of build order a lot in the past few weeks. So, whereas in the past I think it was a lot more common to see heavy Viking production initially, 6 Vikings with the 2 or 3 Ravens, and then perhaps trying to push across the map. Right now in Korea, the flavor of the day is we see this starport, rather than going onto this reactor, build a reactor of its own, swapping the barracks onto it, rushing out stim and medevacs, and going for a more aggressive marine medevac tank style, rather than playing kind of safe and more passive with those Vikings. Now, it can be very difficult to defend initial pushes with a style like this, because you don't have any Vikings for air control. If your opponent has 4 Vikings, they're sieged outside of your natural, that can be quite difficult. But the medevacs also have advantages, of course. Counter-attacking advantages. The fact that you can heal stuff is generally considered to be a nice thing. As Byun's gonna lose this trade, lose a Hellion. Might have killed a Marine, but I'm not even sure if he did that. Maru now set up defensively. Byun already set up on his 3rd base with 1-1 on the way. Feels like he managed to kind of maneuver himself into a playable position here in the mid game, as he's adding barracks 4 and 5 as well at a very similar time. Now the medevacts are starting for Maru. And that should kind of be the start of a more aggressive game here. Out of both players, honestly. Both players wanting to play an aggressive style. Byun always very keen on that. Maru sometimes keen on that, sometimes just wants to sit back and relax a little bit. Might actually end up losing a couple of these Marines for no real reason. One Marine does go down. Stimpack has finished up. Here goes Maru. Will stim in to try and kill some units. Instead just wastes a stim and damages a bunch of his own bad boys. Uh-oh. Continues attacking though. As a Reaper does get taken out here. And here comes the move out indeed. What are we going to do about that, Byun? Combat shield timings are eerily similar. An armory is on the way for both. It is like a mirror game, except the early game was completely different. Interesting how it can kind of even out over time, I guess. I guess the third CC on location really has a massive benefit. Byun's, this Marine is an absolute game changer. If this Marine wasn't here, this push comes unannounced, and I don't really see a way for Byun to really hold this. Here comes Maru still. It's going to be very difficult for Byun to defend this. Anti-armor missile gets cast on every single unit that has ever existed. There's no tanks over here in position defensively for Byun. Byun's going to lose his natural command center immediately. Even with that Marine, the announcement came too late. GG gets called immediately as Maru wins this game in 8 minutes. Puts himself on match point. This game Byun opening up with something very special, which Maru hasn't quite scouted yet. There's a barracks here, a second barracks being constructed on the map. Now, if you SCV scout this, how weird does it really look? Because I don't think it looks all that weird at all. And Maru here is planning on opening up with a CC on the low ground again. He's going to scout this and say, well, that is all standard. Nothing going on over here, it seems like. This is fine. But it's pretty freaking far from fine. This is potentially a massive issue. Reaper is going to scout around. Could find it, will find it. Huge. Absolutely huge. First Reaper is coming out. What's the response going to be though? Cancel off the command center, we'll move it towards the high ground. Marine needs to be constructed ASAP, as 2 Reapers will now move towards the top of this ramp. Is this going to be enough here? I'm not entirely sure what the math here, what the logic is. Oh, Maru is gambling. Look at this. It's gonna move 1 Marine to the high ground, keep the Reaper over here. Now moves everything over here. Hoping that Byun will jump up this cliff. If Byun decides to jump up a different cliff where the Marines aren't, I think Maru is dead. And it seems like that could just be the case here. Let's take a look at Maru's first person view here. He's looking around, and he will see these Reapers jump up soon. There we go. Reaper is on the way. Loses 1 SCV. Loses a second SCV here, most likely. Oh, Reaper in a bit of trouble. Bad weather. Bad weather for the Reaper as 4 SCVs get taken out. Hellion now pops. Byun hyper aware of all the timings of his opponent's build order. You saw that? Already anticipating that Hellion popping out, of course, at the appropriate time. I wonder if there's one more jump in here coming for Byun. Or if this is going to be it. I don't know. This 1 Reaper will get sent across the map. Could mean something. Could be something. 1 depot under heavy fire. Cyclone will pop out in about 10 seconds. But that means that this depot will most likely fall. Very good grenade. We'll get a worker with that. And at the same time, there's absolutely nothing defensively here for Maru. Hellion is going to get taken out, and more workers could go down as well. Rather than focusing on the workers, though, he went for the Cyclone, did not get it. We'll still end up getting a magnificent amount of SCV kills here. 10 SCV kills, as this Reaper is just denying this natural base. Now a Cyclone is out. More Reapers are being produced. Banshee on the way here for Maru, but there's no cloak yet either. So this is a naked Banshee. I am not sure what that will be capable of achieving, what it should be capable of achieving. So we have a medevac on the way right now for Byun with a tank. And oh, how the tables have turned here. As it's Byun, the aggressive one this time around, making things happen. With a CC on the low ground. Almost done right now. We have this Banshee. Could this Banshee do something? That is the only question that is worth asking at this point. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. That is that, no? He could move out of siege range there with that Cyclone. Could have done this, I think, a little bit more efficiently. This Cyclone now is going to end up falling. That means that this Banshee will have a very good time here, most likely. There's no real anti-air. This is like one of those StarCraft Master campaigns. You know, where you have to micro the Banshee against the Marines. Now, in that particular challenge, I don't believe there was ever a Cyclone popping out, which is going to be the case here. So that means the Banshee will fall, but 6 workers will end up going down, pretty much equalizing the playing field here when it comes to the eco. The question now is, will Maru be in position to deal with this tank drop? And so far the answer seems to be, yeah, this Cyclone will be in position to deal with the tank drop. Seems to be the case. Boof! That's one big shot. That was a very big shot. So now this depot in a little bit of trouble. Definitely a little bit of trouble. Cyclone tries to go for the lock-on the medevac. Gets it, but only temporarily. Tech Lab under some heavy fire as well. Look how beautiful this position is. Byun using this barracks for scouting as well. We'll get a massive tank shot straight on the face right now. And we'll be forced to pick up. Is there a Raven as well moving out across the map for our good friend Byun? Yes, it is. Oh, one Raven almost in trouble. Well, it was in trouble and gets saved. Smart siege forward. That's in range of the factory, isn't it? I think that is. It feels really close at least. Now, this depot is going to get taken out. We don't have a 4CC quite yet. Could be on the way soon. Yeah, this is definitely in range. Ooh. Reactor is also in range. This is actually very big. This is an absolutely huge move here. Because that means that double Vikings can be popped out here on this side of the map. We have more Ravens coming out. Or well, one more Raven coming out. As now Maru is coming in for a double Raven attack. That might expose him at home though. That could definitely expose him at home. There is an interference matrix here. An aggressive move in towards the natural could be detrimental. Defensive Raven gets used here. Tanks, Marines in position. 3 auto turrets getting used. Not really achieving all that much. Getting 2 SCV kills is not enough. Raven will get taken out though. That is a very nice pickup. And now a couple more workers will fall. 1 to be exact. But Byun is smelling blood in the water. Says, hey, you have no energy over here anymore. Do I still have an auto turret? No, but single tank siege is up. Second tank siege is up right now. GG gets called. Byun with the Proxy Rex Reaper making it happen here. Some beautiful control. Ties up the series and gets this series to the rubber match. This game Byun opening up with something very special, which Maru hasn't quite scouted yet. There's a barracks here. A second barracks being constructed on the map. Now, if you SCV scout this, how weird does it really look? Because I don't think it looks all that weird at all. And Maru here is planning on opening up with a CC on the low ground again. He's going to scout this and say, well, that is all standard. Nothing going on over here, it seems like. This is fine. But it's pretty freaking far from fine. This is potentially a massive issue. Reaper is going to scout around. Could find it, could find it, will find it. Huge. Absolutely huge. First Reaper is coming out. What's the response going to be though? Cancel off the command center. We'll move it towards the high ground. Marine needs to be constructed ASAP as 2 Reapers will now move towards the top of this ramp. Is this going to be enough here? I'm not entirely sure what the math here, what the logic is. Oh, Maru is gambling. Look at this. It's gonna move 1 Marine to the high ground, keep the Reaper over here. Now moves everything over here. Hoping that Byun will jump up this cliff. If Byun decides to jump up a different cliff where the Marines aren't, I think Maru is dead. And it seems like that could just be the case here. Let's take a look at Maru's first person view here. He's looking around, and he will see these Reapers jump up soon. There we go. Reaper is on the way. Loses 1 SCV. Loses his second SCV here, most likely. Oh, Reaper in a bit of trouble. Bad weather. Bad weather for the Reaper as 4 SCVs get taken out. Hellion now pops. Byun hyper aware of all the timings of his opponent's build order. You saw that? Already anticipating that Hellion popping out, of course, at the appropriate time. I wonder if there's one more jump in here coming for Byun. Or if this is going to be it. I don't know. This one Reaper will get sent across the map. Could mean something. Could be something. One depot under heavy fire. Cyclone will pop out in about 10 seconds. But that means that this depot will most likely fall. Very good grenade. We'll get a worker with that. And at the same time, there's absolutely nothing defensively here for Maru. Hellion is going to get taken out, and more workers could go down as well. Rather than focusing on the workers, though, he went for the Cyclone, did not get it. We'll still end up getting a magnificent amount of SCV kills here. 10 SCV kills, as this Reaper is just denying this natural base. Now a Cyclone is out. More Reapers are being produced. Banshee on the way here for Maru, but there's no cloak yet either. So this is a naked Banshee. I am not sure what that will be capable of achieving, what it should be capable of achieving. So we have a medevac on the way right now for Byun with a tank. And oh, how the tables have turned here. As it's Byun, the aggressive one this time around, making things happen. With a CC on the low ground. Almost done right now. We have this Banshee. Could this Banshee do something? That is the only question that is worth asking at this point. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! That is that, no? He could move out of siege range there with that Cyclone. Could have done this, I think, a little bit more efficiently. This Cyclone now is going to end up falling. That means that this Banshee will have a very good time here, most likely. There's no real anti-air. This is like one of those StarCraft Master campaigns. You know, where you have to micro the Banshee against the Marines. Now, in that particular challenge, I don't believe there was ever a Cyclone popping out, which is going to be the case here. So that means the Banshee will fall, but 6 workers will end up going down, pretty much equalizing the playing field here when it comes to the eco. The question now is, will Maru be in position to deal with this tank drop? And so far the answer seems to be, yeah. This Cyclone will be in position to deal with the tank drop. Seems to be the case. Boof! That's one big shot. That was a very big shot. So now this depot in a little bit of trouble. Definitely a little bit of trouble. Cyclone tries to go for the lock-on the medevac. Gets it, but only temporarily. Tech Lab under some heavy fire as well. Look how beautiful this position is. Byun using this barracks for scouting as well. We'll get a massive tank shot straight on the face right now. And we'll be forced to pick up. Is there a Raven as well moving out across the map for our good friend Byun? Yes, it is. Oh, one Raven almost in trouble. Well, it was in trouble and gets saved. Smart siege forward. That's in range of the factory, isn't it? I think that is. It feels really close at least. Now, this depot is going to get taken out. We don't have a 4CC quite yet. Could be on the way soon. Yeah, this is definitely in range. Ooh. Reactor is also in range. This is actually very big. This is an absolutely huge move here. Because that means that double Vikings can be popped out here on this side of the map. We have more Ravens coming out. Or well, one more Raven coming out. As now Maru is coming in for a double Raven attack. That might expose him at home though. That could definitely expose him at home. There is an interference matrix here. An aggressive move in towards the natural could be detrimental. Defensive Raven gets used here. Tanks, Marines in position. 3 auto turrets getting used. Not really achieving all that much. Getting 2 SCV kills is not enough. Raven will get taken out though. That is a very nice pickup. And now a couple more workers will fall. 1 to be exact. But Byun is smelling blood in the water. Says, hey, you have no energy over here anymore. Do I still have an auto turret? No, but single tank siege is up. Second tank siege is up right now. GG gets called. Byun with the Proxy Rex Reaper making it happen here. Some beautiful control. Ties up the series and gets this series to the rubber match. We have arrived in game number 5 here. between Byun and Maru, in which Byun opens up with just a single gas. Now, for you guys, the jump from game 4 to game 5 was instant. For me, it took almost an hour, because my middle scroll wheel decided to give up somewhere this morning. I decided to call the tech support of a company that will remain unnamed. It is absolute hell. Why in the world do I need to talk with some idiotic chatbot for 45 minutes before talking to a live agent who then talks me through the exact same steps to try and fix my mouse middle scroll wheel that the chatbot just has done? I actually did all of the steps twice. And then at the end of the process, this guy tells me to contact the retailer to ask if they can assist me further. This is absolutely unbelievable. The retailer, which was Amazon, actually fixed my problem in less than 5 minutes after having spent 50 minutes on the phone with an unnamed company that provided my mouse. This is unbelievable. Entire morning has been ruined by this garbage. I freaking hate chatbots with such a passion, it's insane. I understand that they're made for the complete idiots that when their mouse stops working, they decide to immediately send it in for replacement instead of like plugging it into a new PC or uninstalling the drivers, but holy crap. This thing also didn't work at all. It was called Logan. The bot. It's garbage. Truly disliked it. My agent wasn't, even when I got the live agent, he wasn't properly responding to my questions. I was very upset today. But I remained calm and nice, both to the live agent and to the nice Amazon employee. I think I deserve some credit for that. So I'll be eating some chocolate after I'm done with this series. But for now, we have Maru versus Byun. Terran versus Terran, of course. Game number 5 in the grand final. You'd almost forget that StarCraft is going on as well, in between my whining about real life stuff. And we have a mine coming up. Is this opener? Oh, right. He opened up with a quick expansion. That's what this opener is. So you should have a faster orbital command as a result, and perhaps 1 or 2 extra SCVs as well. More than his opponent. Follows this up. What is this, Byun, you greedy man? Follows up with a medevac here. This is absolutely unheard of. A medevac attack after a 1 barracks expand. My man is feeling it. Ooh, and I'm feeling it as well, looking at this. Okay, the absolute top play would be to swap the medevac or the starport with this factory now. There's like ultimate greed. Okay, that's not quite going to be the case. Oh, that's going to be 1 Reaper. No! Complete missed target fire. Absolute destruction. Poor play here out of Byun. Could have had a Reaper, maybe even 2 Reapers, but instead damages every unit halfway through. Not quite what you want, as now this medevac makes its way across the map. Mine makes its way across the map. First Cyclone should be out. No, wait, did the Cyclone get cancelled? No, it's okay. It's in the main base here. We have a medevac drop trying to head across the map as well. I think Maru saw something that made him try and go back here. And this siege tank will pop out. Raven is about to pop as well. There's no tank here. This is a superior unit count right now for Byun. He realizes, moves in, takes out, I think it was a Reaper there, and pisses off again as well. Still has a small eco lead as he throws out his first Ravens himself now. Kept the Cyclone at home as the siege tank is being built behind it. It's Maru that wants to put on some aggression right away. Oh, Mine gets a kill and gets the unburrow as well. That is a huge move. That's a free unit right there for Byun, who's still on the hunt. What is the plan here? Okay, we have a swap with the Viking production starting right away. Quick swap of the starport. No, what? Liberator. Okay. Man, this is such an aggressive series. Double lip? But he's supply blocked. This is an extremely rare opener that I've never seen before, honest to God. Double lip coming out of Maru here. So really wants to put on some pressure, and this would be perfect against the style that Byun had been playing so far, but this time he is going to swap the starport to the reactor, not going for early medevacs, instead wanting to pump out some Vikings. That's going to help him out so much against these lips, because it will mean map control. or air control for him, air dominance for Byun. The first lip does pop out here. And Maru starts aggressively pushing in. That Marine will get shot. It will die. He needs... Oh my god, that was a huge move out of here with those Marines. Byun playing it fairly unsafe. Will be forced back now with these tanks. Pushed back into his little natural. Viking 1 and 2 are out and should be capable of dealing with this. I'm surprised Byun is being this passive with these Vikings. Wants to jump on this army. No, he doesn't. Yes, he does. No, he doesn't. He's gonna sit back for now. Liberators just relaxing. First Viking for Maru popping out across the map. Second one on the way, but Viking 3 and 4 coming out soon here for Byun. As the third CC for Maru gets built in position. Byun is already done though. Starts barracks 2 and 3. Maru falling a little bit behind infrastructure-wise and has now wasted his money on 2 completely useless liberators. Byun with a higher marine count as well. 1 more Raven, but similar tank count. I think Byun is waiting for the unsiege and he wants to jump on top of this army. That is what it feels like to me. I mean, he just has a larger army. He has more Ravens. He has more Vikings. He scans this. Maru now wants to run away, sees what's kicking off here. As he loses a Marine, Byun's going to jump this. Yes, he is. Here come the interference matrices. That's 1, that's 2. Auto turrets being placed down. Vikings winning the air battle here for Byun. I think. I'm not so sure anymore, actually. Yes, 2 new ones show up. Tank count has been severely diminished as these Vikings are going to get taken out. Air dominance leaning heavily in favor of Byun here. Eco in favor of Byun. Did lose some of his tanks, but kept both of his Ravens alive and kept majority of his Vikings alive. Look at these trades here so far. Definitely in favor of the Shopify Rebellion Terran player. As Maru now starts his own orbital command. Starts mining from here. These 2 barracks are, well, about 25, maybe 30 seconds ahead of Maru's. That means an entire Marine cycle. That's not huge, but it's still something. Combat shield faster for Byun. Upgrades faster for Byun. Extra barracks, quicker for Byun once again. He is a very, very rapid player when it comes to this infrastructure development. Of course, the 1 gas expand helping out here and still kind of snowballing into the later stage of this game. Oh. Vikings in the dead space, waiting for something. Maru feels like he can push forward here. This seems somewhat ill-advised in my opinion. As Maru is just walking into tank fire right now. Viking Raven out of position for Byun, pulls the boys. As the auto turrets, no interference matrix coming in. We have a Viking land. That is 1, that is 2, that is 3. This was a really good trade once again for Byun. Pretty much evening up the tank count, the one thing he was still behind in, while keeping his air lead, his air dominance. As Maru once again opts for a double lip. Surely this is for harassment purposes at this point, because I don't see any way in which they can be used with the army. It's like a counterattack unit, but Maru is pretty much, I don't want to say dead, but he hardly has anything. Medevacs are already popping out here for Byun. 2 medevacs straight back into Vikings. Does not want to lose that air superiority. The Liberators indeed are going to be used for harassment. But it will be Byun who's going to be annoying first here. I think he can just walk into this position. He has Stim, he has Combat Shield, he has 1/1 upgrades, and Maru doesn't have a whole lot. That depot is gonna get taken out. How far away are we from these interference matrices? We're a couple of energy away. I think this might actually be it. I don't see a proper way for Maru to break this. Here comes a move forward. Maru's not paying attention, does not have a scan ready. Loses a tank for free. As Byun inches closer, bit by bit. Building to a better lead, brick by brick. This tank is now in position to completely shut off this area. We have an SCV pool. Vikings could land. Auto turrets do get placed down. That's 2. Vikings will stay in the air for now. That means this position will get cleaned up. But at what cost? 19 SCVs. Well, I say that, but Maru actually has a significant SCV count still left. despite losing 20 workers just now. Sure, he's going to be down in upgrades and he's still down in supply, specifically in the marine count and the air unit count as well. This is painful. This really is quite painful. Here comes a siege up. Byun feels like he can continue attacking. Will he land the Vikings? No, he keeps them up. And GG gets called. Byun taking out Maru here in this best of 5. That is absolutely wild. And I can't quite recall when the last time is that happened in a best of 5. Actually gonna have a quick look at that here. Out of the last 20 series, Byun only won 4 series. And out of the last 2, Byun managed to win 2 series. So perhaps the times they are changing here as Byun takes the victory here, 3-2. Very impressive series overall. Fun to watch as I mess up the score completely, but that is life. All right, that's going to be it for me today. Thanks all so much for watching. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Bye-bye, my friends. Bye-bye.